Hey guys, so a couple of weeks ago, I was talking with a couple of friends. One of them had heard that I have this thing going on with the Flute Center of New York, which, side note, the piccolo video is coming out next week. I just tried a whole bunch of piccolos today. But in any case, she very excitedly told our other friend who was there too about it for me. Typically, I don't like to broadcast myself to my friends in terms of what I do on YouTube. I think you guys understand that this is actually a thing, that this is actually a career, but it's still not actually seen as a real job. Add on top of that, that I play the flute professionally. In the real world, no one actually really cares when you say that you're a professional flutist. It doesn't really mean anything to them. It just means that you kind of, they think it's just fairies and flute music all day long, which it's not. Sorry to burst your bubble. If you guys want another video on what it's really like to be a professional flutist, let me know. So the only reason why this lady had found out earlier that I'm an official partner now with the Flute Center of New York was because she herself is a blogger. I felt that she understands where I'm coming from in terms of this online entrepreneurship or whatever you want to call it. I had told her in private, mostly because I felt that she would actually share in the joy with me. I was thinking that since this lady told the other lady about it, that maybe this other lady does actually have experience with internet entrepreneurship thing, and I thought she would get really excited too. But her reaction, oh. And of course, the other lady was like, yeah, Joanna plays the flute, blah, 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 blah. Lady number two is like, yeah, I quit the flute when I was 14. As the receiver of this sort of response, let me just tell you, it is really awkward. What do you say? I've been playing the flute since I was 8. I'm actually a little bit older than how I look to most of you. Because I am Asian, I inherited the immortal genes from my parents. I hardly remember a time that I didn't think about the flute. The flute is part of my identity. I won't say that it is completely my identity. Again, if you want another video about finding your identity in music and outside of music, let me know. I live and breathe the flute. Literally. It's what I do. It's what I teach. It's what I make videos about. It's what my whole partnership with the Flute Center of New York is about. How do you expect a person like myself to respond to someone who says, yeah, I quit the flute when I was 14? I'm sure she didn't mean it this way, but it really felt like a shutdown. Oh, you're good at this thing. Well, let me just tell you, I'm really bad at this thing, so you can shut up about it now. People like this lady are never going to see this video, which means that there's no point in me trying to tell you guys, oh, you need to think about how this person has built their whole life and their whole career around this thing that you said that you just quit. It's a shutdown, and what you need to do instead is ask questions about their career and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I have reached the point where I just don't think that that is even worth making a big point about on my channel, because I am just preaching to the choir right now. I thought a little bit more about why someone would say something like that. You know, to be honest, I found that I have been guilty of the same thing. Now you guys are probably wondering like, oh, Joanna, how can you be so two-faced about this? But no, this is facing reality. When I was 4, I insisted on taking dance class. Unfortunately, our teacher, I'm not sure if she was just not experienced enough, but she managed to completely not let my class know that our recital was actually a full-blown performance in a theater. At that point when I was 4, I was only exposed to little piano recitals in my brother's piano teacher's house. The concept of recital to me was in a person's house. I asked my parents about it, and even they had no idea that it was an actual concert venue. They didn't know until they got there, and by the time they got there, it was already too late to try to prep me. I had no idea that it was that big of a hall until they pulled open the curtains. Our teacher was dancing behind the curtain off to the side just so the audience couldn't see her. They told us to not look at her while we're dancing, but of course I was so petrified. Instead of, you know, kind of dancing like this and whatever, I was literally just like. And after that, I promptly announced to my parents that I was going to be ditching dance class. When I have met dancers, when they start telling me about their dance career, I have been guilty of saying, oh man, that's cool, but I quit dancing when I was 4. And honestly, I don't remember what their response was. Why do I not remember what their response was? Quite honestly, it was because I was self-conscious. I was thinking about me. It was a very self-centered thing to do. I was not thinking about the other person at all, and I wasn't thinking at all about how excited that dancer was about what they do, and I shut it down. Finally, when I started to get responses from people saying, oh, I quit the flute when I was 10. Oh, I quit the flute when I was 9. Oh, I quit the flute after high school. That was when I realized that I had been doing that same thing to other people. Me. And you know what? That is an awful thing to do. That response, as far as I have experienced, has nothing to do with the receiver. So how do you make such an awkward exchange unawkward? I tried it with this lady. I instead decided to ask her about her own life. The hardest part about doing this, though, is letting go of the fact that you feel shut down by this person. Most people, when they say that they quit doing whatever it is that you have built your life around, they're not doing it specifically to shut you down. They feel tiny next to you. It's a defense mechanism. And I think that we as receivers of those kinds of comments need to understand that. And since they are already thinking about themselves, might as well ask them more about themselves. Very quickly, I noticed that my conversation with that lady improved by miles, or if you are not in the imperial system, kilometers, many kilometers. We actually had a really great conversation about her kids and about her work and stuff like that. None of it was about music. Why bother forcing someone who is defensive about not knowing much music to talk about music? There's no point. You're just gonna end up with a lot of friction. They're gonna think you're stuck up, and then you're gonna think that they are super closed-minded. Nothing comes of it. Whereas in this situation, I was able to actually get to know her better, and I was actually able to relate to what she was currently going through, like things that are actually currently going through her mind. I think it's a better way of responding than us becoming defensive. That's how I have dealt with it. It's definitely not the end-all be-all, and so I want to hear from you guys how you guys have dealt with a situation like this. Please share your experience in the comments below. Let us know how you dealt with it, or if you have any more questions about how to deal with it. I've now given my input, and I want to hear you guys' input. Don't forget, if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button that is somewhere down there. My last video is over there, and if you want to catch me during the week, my social media networks are down there. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Bye. I have had far too many experiences trying to tell people what I do, and literally the only response I have is, oh, that's nice. So what do you do again? It was nice instead to get more of a reaction like, oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Wow, that is so exciting. What do you do with them? That is so cool. Yes, they're asking the same question, which is, what do you do? But I mean, one way is, you know, it gets me more excited than the other.